Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome back to a special Reloaded Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Who we are and what we do. We're the good guys. We're the good gals. We're the ones who own guns, use guns responsibly, safely. We're the ones they don't want to talk about. We're actually the ones who use guns to stop crime. According to the CDC, people use guns to stop crime and protect themselves 3.5 times more often than criminals use guns. Think about that. Criminals use guns to commit crimes, but good guys use guns to stop crime and protect themselves and others 3.5 times more often. That's 350% more than criminals use guns. So when they call for restrictions on gun ownership, they're actually going to cut down on the number of people, possibly, using guns to save lives 3.5 times more so than they are going to affect criminals. Actually, more than that, because good guys will obey the law, whatever it is, and the bad guys don't. That's why we call them criminals, you know. By the way, Gun Talk videos are always available on YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and guntalk.com, 24/7. You can go check out our videos. The most outrageous story I've seen recently, and of course there's a lot of virtue signaling going on by a number of companies. We're not going to do business with the NRA. We're going to do this. We're going to, no guns, never. But this thing had happened with Gunsite. It was amazing. And joining me to talk about it right now is Ken Campbell. He's the operations director at Gunsite Training Academy, Gunsite Academy out in Arizona. Ken, welcome.
Tom, always good to visit with you. Even better when it's in person, when we can get you out here to Gunsite.
Yeah, boy, I really need to get out there. Okay, it was weird. I was checking yesterday. I said, now, if I'm up in Idaho, how long did it take me to get down to Gunsite? 3 hours. So there you go. I already got it figured out. All right, so give us the story. I gather that you changed, what was it, your credit card processing or something?
Right. I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version, but roughly 8 weeks ago, we were always, in business, you're looking to try to improve things, and we were looking for a different credit card processing company. So our accountant found this company. We made a nice, smooth, easy transition over to them, and things were just humming along. But about, 10 days ago, they got a hold of our accountant and said, hey, we just realized you folks sell guns online. We only do face-to-face transactions. And she tried to explain to them that, firearms is one of the most heavily regulated industries in the country. And, of course, we follow all those regulations, and gun sales aren't over the Internet like some people falsely believe. They have to be a face-to-face transaction through a licensed gun dealer.
Okay.
So they seemed to understand that. They were also holding a big chunk of our money then in the processing. They went ahead and released that money.
Is Intuit is the company that has QuickBooks?
That's correct. Intuit. That is correct.
Okay. Right.
So they released that money, and then a week ago, last Friday, so 8 days ago, they got back with our accountant and said, we reviewed this, and all the transactions, you can't key in these transactions. They have to be face-to-face. Well, you and I both know guns are an unusual thing. Well, number one, guns aren't the biggest part of our business. We're in the training industry.
Right.
We do sell some guns, but that's not the vast majority of what we do. But we tried to explain, again, people, when they're buying a custom gun, it's not like you go to the Sears and Roebuck catalog and pick this one and say, this is what I want. People like to talk to people about it, hear about it. They've got good questions about it. So we'll do the transaction, if you will, over the phone, get the person's credit card information, and then we get their dealer and we shipped the gun to their dealer for that face-to-face transaction.
Right.
Well, this wasn't acceptable. And it's in, when you dig all through it all, it's in the fine print of the contract, which is fine. I believe in our republic. I believe in capitalism. If they don't want to do business with us or other good gun companies, that's fine. That's their right. But give us our money. They were holding many thousands of dollars of processed credit cards for tuitions and everything from guns to T-shirts and hats that we'd sold in our pro shop. And rather than releasing that money onto us, say after today's date, we won't process anymore, but here's the money we're holding, they sent it back to the clients, to the customers.
So these are people who've already paid for a product. They've already gotten the product in many cases, whether it's a class or a T-shirt or whatever.
Now some of it is some deposits on tuition.
Sure,
but still, some of it was classes they had already successfully completed and product we had already shipped to them or they had purchased in our pro shop.
So Intuit gave them their money back.
They did. Now, here's where the problem enhances then. We've got great Gunsite family members, great clients, and I'm sure they'll get these repayments made to us. But we've had to expend many, many, many man-hours on my part, on my training director's part, on our office manager's part, on our pro shop manager's part, on our accountant's part, trying to find out who all these folks are. We've got to contact again on phone calls and emails saying, I'm sorry, this isn't us, but you've got to pay us again. Now, some folks are savvy enough to be able to get on the internet and look and see that, okay, I did get a credit right away from my credit card company. Mm-hmm. Others aren't, and they say, well, okay, as soon as that shows up in my next monthly statement to see I've got the credit, I'll pay you again.
Well, that means you got to wait for your money.
And I understand that, too.
Yeah, but you have to wait for your money.
Pardon me?
But that means you have to wait for your money.
That's correct. For services and product we've already provided. And we have a lot of folks just stop in our pro shop. They want to wear Gunsite logoed shirts and hats and buy other firearms-related products, great products we sell. Well, some of those folks, it's like going into Walmart and buying a new coat. We don't have all the contact information. So right now, we're a couple of $1,000s out that we don't think we're going to get back because they were just those over-the-counter sales. We don't have a phone number.
What's your course of action now?
Well, of course, we went right away to a new credit card processor, and we're looking for another credit card processor that is, in our minds, pro-Constitution, pro-America, and pro-guns. So we're looking for that. In the meantime, well, we're just working hard to recover the monies and share the word that there's some companies out there that certainly don't want to do business with good Americans, and companies, and there's a new way for the anti-gun folks to attack the gun industry.
So the company is Intuit. They are the ones who make QuickBooks. They also do TurboTax. So for those who may be using those products, if you want to let this company know what you think about that, is there any thought about, in my mind, of course, you're law enforcement. You've got this long career in law enforcement. My first thought was, well, that's theft of money. That's like felony theft of the money. It's yours.
It is. Now, having said that, it was in the small print of their contract that, it has to be a face-to-face transaction. A. B, did they not have a clue as to what we do by our name alone when they also agreed to it?
Right.
C, I guess we could go after that, but then you get into that cost-benefit. How much do I pay my attorney to take legal action to try to recover and so on? I go back to the folks that come to Gunsite are great people, and we believe in our hearts they're going to make good on this, and hopefully we won't be out a lot. I'll never be able to recover the man-hours that we've spent.
That's money that's gone.
It's certainly somebody that we don't want to ever do business with again.
I hear you. Hey, Ken, can I get you to hold on a second?
Let me throw in here also.
Go ahead.
They've also tried to push it off on Chase Bank, who they say they're following Chase Bank's procedures.
So they're doing the finger pointing thing at this point. Yeah, okay, right.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Tell you what, hold on, Ken. When we come back, I want to take a break. We'll come back. I want to talk a little bit about the school shooting, mass murders, and the idea of getting training for active killer scenarios, which is one of the things I know that happens out there. So we're talking with Ken Campbell from Gunsite Academy in Arizona. If you'd like to be part of this, give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
Built for personal and home protection, the Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ pistol features an easy-to-load magazine with load assist button, an easy-to-rack slide, and the M2.0 crisp trigger and enhanced grip texture. With its easy-to-rack, easy-to-pack, and easy-to-shoot design, the M&P 380 Shield EZ is perfectly sized .380 protection. Find out more at smith-wesson.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of one football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
This is Jeff with Black Hills Ammunition. Our new rifle ammunition line, featuring Hornady's extreme low-drag bullet design, is a big step forward in long-distance performance. When you want the ability to shoot way out there with accuracy, flat trajectory, and minimal wind effect, our ELD ammunition is the right choice. The high ballistic coefficients and Black Hills Ammunition carry manufacture gives you the advantage. Black Hills Ammunition, the power of performance.
Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis. Whether you're unbalanced, evading a threat, or engaging from behind cover, a laser sight aids in keeping you on target. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
We're talking with Ken Campbell from Gunsite. Of course, Gunsite being the kind of the Harvard of gunfighting schools, if you will, out in Paulden, Arizona. Ken, you guys teach pretty much everything from basic pistol to pretty advanced stuff to long-range rifle. Are you doing any classes on the active murder, active shooter kind of scenarios?
Absolutely. For the last 3 or 4 years, we've had a citizen response to active shooter course that we offer. That's been fairly popular. It also includes some trauma med. This year we added church defense. And next year, this is something we haven't released just yet publicly, so you'll be one of the first. We're adding school defense, a 5-day course on it. Now, these courses are not just how to shoot. That's what our 250 pistol course is for. These courses are based on history of how these different events have evolved, how it seems to be that they are growing into, and how better ways to respond, to defend, to how to put teams together, the right people to have or the people you don't want to have, and so on. So we're trying to cover all those bases to help as many people as we can.
You've been a SWAT team leader for a lot of years, where you go in with a team. If you are an individual, it puts you at a significant disadvantage, does it not?
It can, yes, but I'd have to concur with that. I was a SWAT team leader, and of course I was a county sheriff as well. But I've got to concur with that sheriff, I think it was Oklahoma, that after that horrible incident in Florida said, if I pull up, I'm going in, and I expect you guys and gals to be going in with me. And that would have been my response as sheriff, and I know my guys and gals back home would have been going in when that happened, because you've got to get in there, assault the ambush, and get the problem stopped now. You either got to stop it or slow it down to reduce that body count and keep those good people from being hurt.
The clock's ticking is what you're saying.
It is. Without fail, it is. And that's, again, our training is based on you've got to be able to get in the fight, stay in the fight, and be successful in the fight.
And I know there are tons of people out there who say, oh, one person couldn't do anything, one person, yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, yeah, they've never been through if you will, I almost hate to say it, the basic Gunsite class is the 250 class. At the end of the 250 class, even if you started from nothing and not having any background at all, you can shoot multiple targets. You can shoot, while you're moving. You can handle malfunctions. And you've done a little bit of maybe you put them through the fun house, the house clearing kind of thing?
We do.
Yeah.
They get indoor and outdoor live fire simulator runs where they're doing judgmental shooting, negotiating those corners, the furniture, the windows, the doors, all of those things that give you that good solid basis on how to survive and be successful in an incident like this.
And there's in education, there's a thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is basically says that people who have very low skills tend to overestimate their abilities, and people with high skills tend to underestimate their abilities. But on the low end, and you see it all the time, people who say, "Yeah, I've been shooting all my life, I've been hunting all my life, I got this stuff," and they really horribly overestimate their abilities, and then they get exposed to a real class, and they go, "Wow, I really didn't know much."
Well, I started to come to Gunsite in the fall of 1990, and I'd been a sheriff's office for 11 years. I'd been a SWAT guy. I was a firearms instructor. I'd been to a few other schools. And I talked to Jeff Cooper, and I said, I really need something advanced. He said, no, you need our 250. And I thought, well, gosh, you old curmudgeon, what do you mean? Well, he was right. I was wrong, and I didn't know what I didn't know.
Well, you know what, Ken?
That's what we try to explain to folks.
You know what, Ken? Now you are the old curmudgeon.
Well, I think I just heard the pot call a kettle black here, but I'm not sure.
But you're the guy telling people when they call, they say, well, I've had some training before. I want to start at the 350 class. And they're telling them, no, you really want to start. And I've been to Gunsite numerous times. I've taken the 250 class more than once. And every time you do, you get a tune-up, you learn things. And, yeah, the 350 and going beyond is worthwhile, but there's nothing wrong with going back and taking – in the end,
no.
It's
and
all
our basic class is not just basic shooting. It's about 46 hours of learning how to fight with that gun.
Yeah, it's as I say, it's called gun fighting. Gun is the adjective, fighting is the noun. That's what it's really all about.
Very good. That's excellent. I'm going to use that.
That's the whole deal. It's gun fighting. Gun is what you're using. Fighting is what you're doing. And so you learn.
Tom, something else we've done this year is we've taken a step some months ago to offer a free 250 pistol course to school administration. That is, people who vote on the policy, school board presidents, superintendents, so that we can get people who allow good Americans that want to learn how to fight with these guns to be able to go in and beyond. We've offered that class. You helped support us on that, I think. You interviewed me about. Yep. And we're having one or two. As a matter of fact, I've got a 250 starting tomorrow. I've got two more school superintendents in there next week as well. We've had multiple. Wow. It's we're trying to make inroads.
Give us an idea, because you have people come there who are, well, not trying to be derogatory, but I would call them Susie Homemaker, who doesn't have any background. You also have people come there who have been through some pretty advanced training. And as they say, we get letters, you get calls, you get people who contact you about how they were able to utilize what they learned there. Give me an example or two.
Well, we do get calls, and I'll give you a prime example. We had a couple who had retired. She was an honest-to-God rocket scientist, worked for NASA, and he was also a scientist of some sort. They bought a big diesel pusher motor home. They were traveling the USA. They came to Gunsite, and they took the 5-day 250 pistol course. Not gun people. They got guns from us and so on. Had such a great time, they went ahead and stayed the next week for shotgun. They left on Friday evening, got down to Williams, which is, 2 hours from here, ballpark, and they stopped for fuel. Well, I got an email from them later that night saying, I want you to know the mindset part of what you taught us saved our lives. We are confident. Because we were fueled up, and there was a miscreant there who was eyeing us, and in my prior life, I'd have never noticed him. But now I was alert, I was aware, I did not look like a sheep, and as a result, we were able to finish getting our fuel and go on without any incident. Well, that's a huge win. It's not that you did go to guns, it's that you recognized the problem and you didn't have to. And that's the kind of emails we get, and that's our real paycheck.
I've heard you say that, look, if you go the next 40 years and you never have to use your gun because of what you learned here, that's a win.
Oh, A+, without fail.
Yeah, there it is. Ken, thank you so much, and thanks for sharing the story about Intuit, QuickBooks, TurboTax. Yeah, okay, there are alternatives out there. Just holy cow.
Yep, there are, absolutely, and we're sorry they chose this path. But again, we know that the good Gunsite family members, once they learn about this, will make sure they work with us to get this paid. But gosh, I would have really preferred to spend all these hours in training and supporting our training mission as opposed to trying to fool with this mess they created.
Yeah, but by them doing this, you weren't able to teach gun safety to a bunch of people and provide that. And just like it's so counterintuitive. But, you know, it falls into that. It makes them feel good that they've done that.
Again, if they don't want to do business with us, fine. We don't want to do business with them. That's capitalism. But give us our money.
Give us our money. There you go. Ken, thank you so much. Say hi to all the folks at Gunsite.
All right. Take care, Tom. Come see us now.
All right. Will do. Yeah, I know. I talk about the training schools a lot. We're going to have a crew up at SIG Academy this week. Boondocks, Gunsite, the Firearms Academy of Seattle, Tiger McKee's Gunsite, or Shoot Right in Alabama. And there are a lot of good ones now. There are a lot of good ones. Find one. Get involved. It's your life. It's the life of your children, the life of your spouse, literally the life. The other thing, and he mentioned briefly, but I want to throw this in, strongly consider taking one of these trauma medical classes where you learn to use a tourniquet. I know a bunch of people that carry a tourniquet every day. It's like putting on a belt. They always have it with them. You can save a life if you have it with you and you know what to do. Know your belt is not a tourniquet. Consider getting one of those classes. It's usually a one-day class, and it's super worthwhile. So I just throw that out for your consideration. All right, so what is your level of commitment? What do you plan to do from this point forward? 866-TALK-GUN.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Welcome back to a special reloaded Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. I just put up another link on Twitter. If you are not following me on Twitter, you're missing out on the news, frankly. Because what I do is I scour the news I'm looking for what's going on in the gun world. Whether it's a new product or great sales, or many times it's political stories. This one is an interesting one in the National Review, and they quote Malcolm Gladwell. And as they say, hardly an NRA conservative. He believes in gun control, that it has its place. But he's a clear thinker on a lot of things, and one of the things he said was interesting. He said, quote, "Let's not kid ourselves that if we passed the strictest gun control in the world, that we would end this particular kind of behavior." Interesting. As I say, things have changed. Gun accessibility has not. Well, it's harder to get guns now than it used to be. But it's not a case of there being easy access to guns. But we have kids who want to be famous, and the media will make them instantly famous. They'll make them rock stars if they murder a lot of people. We have YouTube videos that they watch forever, looking at the videos of other mass murderers. We have video games, and yeah, I know people roll their eyes. But you know what? Here's the thing. Basic rule, all right? File this one away, would you? Everything you expose yourself to changes you. Think about that. And I don't care what it is. Everything you expose yourself to, everything that you see, that you do, that you watch, that you hear, changes you. If you watch pornography for 5 or 10 hours a day, it changes who you are. If you watch violent video games and play violent video games for 5 hours a day, it changes who you are. Everything you expose yourself to changes you in some form or fashion. And there's no way that playing 10,000 hours of video games where you shoot people and blow them up and blow blood all over the place doesn't somehow alter the wiring, particularly when you are young and you are developing. Now, there are developmental stages here. Just food for thought, okay? Let's go to line 3. William's with us out of Guntersville, Alabama. William, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes, sir. I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you very much to you and to Ryan. I've always been set in my ways. I'm a 1911 guy. About as fancy as I like to get is some 3-dot night sights. That's it. Okay. I recently watched your video of iron sights versus lasers, and it changed everything. Because once I watched it, that idea kind of crept in my head of, could it really make that much of a difference? And so I went through, got a set of Crimson Trace laser grips, and it blew my mind what a difference it really makes.
How so? What did it do for you?
For me, I hate being one of those guys. I've been shooting forever. But I shot for a long time. I've taken classes. I was happy with the way that I shot, my speed, my grouping. But it tightened my group up. Yeah, I feel like it makes me faster. I haven't actually got to put a stopwatch or anything to it yet, but I feel faster. I'm making better groupings, just all the way around. I am very, very pleasantly surprised, and kind of slapping myself on the wrist here for being a holdout for all these years, because it really is. It's night and day. If there's anybody out there kind of in that realm of old school thinking that lights and lasers, and I'm telling you, it blew my mind what a difference it makes. I've got them on mine now. I've got my wife training with laser grips, or not a laser grip, but a laser on her shield. I'm all for it, and I want to say thank you very much, because that's a great series of videos. If anybody hasn't got a chance to see them yet,
that's the ones we did where we're shooting. Have people behind barricades and different people trying them. And did you see the one where Ryan was shooting at the different weird clothing, the different colored clothing? Yes. That was fun. And thinking, okay, will a laser show up on all these different colors and everything else? And it really didn't matter. It showed up on everything.
That's it. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you taking time, because you know what? It's not easy to say, hey, I was one of those hard-headed guys and I was slow to come to this. But, man, it is an epiphany when you actually put them on your gun and try it. You're going, holy cow, now I see what they're talking about. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I am really of the opinion, and look, and I'm not saying, and I know you're not saying, don't use your iron sights. Of course you need to learn how to use the iron sights. And the iron sights are going to be primary for me, always. But if I come up, here's the deal. If I come up and look and I can't see my iron sights, if it is too dim, then what you do, then your head's going to pop up slightly and you're going to see the red dot, and you transition to that and you just go about your business. You still have very usable sights. And in self-defense, that could be a lifesaver.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, William. I appreciate you taking time to give us a holler. And, yeah, for those who haven't seen it, you can check it out. We've got several videos on our YouTube channel about using laser sights. We set up these tests, and we put different people through it. Like a lady that had no experience. We had a guy who had law enforcement background, a guy who was a really good shooter, and had them try different things with and without the laser. I think it was really eye-opening for them, and it's a really good idea to just look at that and say, oh, okay, now I see in which applications that could be useful. See if you agree. But I appreciate William very much. Hey, let me take a quick break here. When we come back, we got Franco. We got room for you if you'd like to join us. Give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. We're open line. If there's something you want to talk about, we'll do it.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The Ruger pistol that started it all is now even better. The Ruger Mark IV has the same great look as the Mark III, but now its simple one-button takedown means less time taking apart your gun and more time shooting it. Disassemble it in seconds for no hassle cleaning. Learn more about the Target, Hunter, and 2245 Light Mark IV series models at Ruger.com. The Ruger Mark IV, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, back with you, 866 Talk Gun. If there's a gun you want to know about. By the way, have you seen that it seems like several companies are bringing out 10 millimeters now? Let's see, Springfield Armory has 10 millimeter, a 5-inch and a 6-inch barrel, 1911. Very sweet. We were just shooting one of those at, dare I say it, 300 yards. Yeah, we were. God, that was fun. Shot the Ruger match champion. Having a ball with that thing. And I went online, I was looking at some of the ballistics on the 10, and going, man, you know, you do have to watch the loads. There are some, you need to look at the velocities, the bullet weights and velocities, because there are some companies that are loading them to wimpy, like almost barely 40 Smith & Wesson levels. But if you get the heavy loads, the serious loads, you're pushing 41 Magnum level. It would be a good bear gun. By the way, I just saw a report of somebody getting killed by a bear. Saw somebody else got killed by a mountain lion. I think that was in Washington State. Don't hear of that very often, but you know that stuff does happen. It's out there. So just kind of a thought for you. Consider a 10 millimeter because there's a lot of cool things going on with that. Let's see here. Where are we going, friends, neighbors? Line 2. Franco's with us out of Mason City, Iowa. Hey, Franco, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. I got a bit of a range report / heads up for you.
Okay.
My local gun store owner, Hart Brothers, H-A-R-T, that's a pretty impressive young man. While he was attending St. Cloud State University in Minnesota, he was at the time the youngest sitting mayor of a nearby town at 20 years old. He invented, or he's got a patent pending on an alloy that dissipates heat faster than normal barrels. The story went that he was out shooting prairie dogs with a bunch of friends and a bunch of rifles. They had to sit around and wait for the barrels to cool off, and it got him thinking. And I think he calls it his heat sink barrel. Obviously, he's got a website at HART, not HEART, Hart Brothers Weaponry in Mason City, Iowa. I ran 30 rounds through it. Probably, I didn't waste them. It was probably less than a minute. And I don't think any metal barrel I would advise grabbing the barrel right after that.
Right.
But I was packed up and then had my rifle probably between 5 and 10 minutes. Had it back in my Bulldog nylon bag, and I didn't burn or melt the foam.
That's fascinating. That's I could think that would have some applications to the military.
And that's what I looked at him and I said, Cameron, how the heck did you come up with this and all the billions of money that the DOD has? How did you do this? And he just kind of smirked at me. But like I said, he's an impressive young man. I don't think you can just join the Freemasons. But I think you got to be asked, and he joined the Freemasons on the day he turned 18.
Holy cow. Okay, that's fascinating. Well, that is really an interesting, a different kind of range report. I had not heard of that, but we'll keep an eye out for him. Frank, I appreciate the call, sir. You take care. Eric's on 4 out of Wichita, Kansas. Eric, talk to me.
Afternoon, Tom. I'm on a rant. I work in Wichita. I'm a subcontractor, working today like usual. East side and west side of town both. I've run into this 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Same rifle and the same truck I've seen. Nobody's done anything about this. People are leaving their guns in their cars where you can see them. Nice cars. Probably, I'm sure everything's legal. They're leaving a gun unattended in their car where it can be seen.
What kind of gun?
Smash and grab opportunities.
Handgun?
I think. Well, 2 of them are handguns. This nice Ford F-250 pickup. Looks like I would say Savage, maybe 17 with the Cabela scope on it. That's how well I can see it, sticking kind of down beside the console. Now, and I just heard on the radio here a few weeks ago, we are on a rate right now to equal last year's gun thefts from automobiles in Wichita.
Well,
and
yes.
Why it happens to the irresponsibility.
Well, and it's a good point, and I'm glad you brought this up. First of all, people, you got to lock your cars, always. I mean, I don't care where you live. But also, if you have to leave your gun in your car, and there are times when you do, at least put it somewhere where people can't look in and see it, because if they see it, and look, I'm not saying you're responsible because the bad guy's responsible for the bad guy's actions, but it's an attractive nuisance, and why would you want to do that? And the other part is, if somebody steals it, then they're probably not going to go out to the range and use it for competition. It's probably going to end up in the crime world. So that's Eric. I don't know. Do you know any of the people who own these cars?
No. What I did is I got with the apartment association in Wichita. I said, spread the word, get a memo out, get everybody to post stuff. I'm just walking in from the parking lot, and the same one that caught my attention first, the same rifle, still sitting beside the seat. I'm going to get the Wichita PD, and we've got a pretty good captain on our PD, and maybe they need to get out and start going to having some meetings.
Yeah, I thought about putting a note on the windshield, but I'd hate to do that and have somebody else walk up and read the note and go, "Oh, there's a gun in the car. I'll break in."
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that very thing. That wouldn't be too good an idea.
Well, look, you bring up a great point, Eric. I appreciate it, and thank you for your call, sir. Don't leave your gun in your car where people can see it. Come on. It's like putting a steal me sign on it. And no, I know it's still the responsibility of the thief, and in an ideal world, you would be able to leave it out. It's not an ideal world. There are bad guys everywhere, but you want your gun to be there when you come back? I mean, that's the basic question. Be responsible. Put it away where people can't see it. As we think about the mass murders in Texas, which are being used by the gun ban industry, of course, to push for more gun bans, which is fascinating because, of course, they want to ban guns that weren't used in this mass murder. To me, what that does is removes all cover they might have when they say, well, we don't want to ban all guns. Sure they do. Of course they do. In fact, now they're really coming out. We got people, was a congressman, somebody in California, saying, F the Second Amendment, F you guys, we're going to take away all your effing guns. Seeing it everywhere now. What's that mean for you? Okay, we know that's out there. And I understand that they're frustrated. They want something done. And this is all they can come up with. Because for them, it's easy and there's no cost to it. They don't see the cost in lives that would do. Good guys giving up their guns when good guys use guns to save lives 3.5 times more often than bad guys use guns in crimes. Huh. They didn't know that, did they? CDC is the source on that, not the NRA. So what can you do? Well, let's start with the individual level. What can you do for you? First of all, make a commitment to take care of yourself and your family. Practice. Get training. Real training. No kidding training. No BS training. Not silly training. And by practice, I don't mean going out to the range and shooting at a cardboard target. Find a place where you can shoot and move. So find a place where you can, if you can't draw and shoot where you're shooting, you need to go to another place. Yeah, I know. It's hard. You got to drive. Yeah, I get it, okay? Spare me the excuses. You're either in or you're out. You're either serious about this or you're not. You're either willing to take care of yourself and your family or you're not. I'm sorry. Oh, that makes you angry? Good. Do something about it. Get mad at me. But then do something for your family. Take care of yourself. Men and women, train. Go get some training. Practice, 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 practice. Dry fire every day. Practice your draw every day. Practice your reloads every day. Use the safe method that we've talked about. And then there are other things we can do. I am firmly convinced that these are copycat killers. I am firmly convinced that the media is part of the problem. And every time that they make a celebrity of these murderers, these losers, these lowlifes, we create more. And yes, I understand. They're going to say, well, that's what we do, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. Let's find out. Every single time you see a story like that, write them. Every time you see something on the internet like that where they're listing the names and giving us the backstory. He grew up here. He did this. I don't want to know. And you shouldn't be putting that stuff out there. And tell them over and over again, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times. You are part of the problem, media, when you make celebrities of these people because other twisted young people, disturbed people want to be celebrities. And you've shown them, look, it's easy. Go kill a bunch of people. You'll be a celebrity. You'll be famous forever, which is what they're looking for. What else can you do? Have a talk with your family. Get them all to go to trauma training and make sure you have tourniquets and what you need. Not just for shooting, but for car accidents, for anything else out there. There's no downside to it. You want to feel safe, then become safer. It's not about feeling safe. It's about being safe. Make the commitment. I mean, it's all I can tell you. If you want to talk about this a little bit more, we can do that right now. If you want to call me, we'll get you on to the after show, 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be continuing the conversation on our YouTube pages, on Facebook. Just check out Gun Talk Media on Facebook. Look for our YouTube videos over there, including the laser ones we were talking about with our caller earlier. In the meantime, sit in your big easy chair and think about all the what-ifs. Make your commitment. You're either in, you're out. You're either a sheep or you're a sheepdog. I think you know what you want to be. Now you have to take the steps to become the thing that you want to be. Suck it up. Make it happen. Be safe out there.